Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for having me. It's certainly a pleasure to be here. As Eric mentioned, and as my last name often gives away, I did get married, but I refused to change my last name because it's way too cool, so I wouldn't give it up. My last name gives away, native to Louisiana, and so truly love my work that I do for Amazon. I've been with the company for a little over 2.5 years, but it is extra special to be in a room with fellow Louisianians and work on projects that I truly believe are impactful to our state. And it just holds a lot of extra weight and is really personally very special to me. So thank you all for having me here. Truly excited. Plan today to share a little bit about Amazon in Louisiana. We have more than just our facility under construction here in Baton Rouge, and then also just a little bit of specifics around what we're going to do at this facility that's out under construction. How many of you have driven by? Just curious, have seen it? Awesome. All right, so you guys are in on it, so you know that it's going up. I do have some drone footage that we'll show as well as part of the presentation today for those of you that haven't seen it recently. The building is almost complete from a construction standpoint of the outside of the facility, but then tons of work happens on the inside, and we'll talk about that too, being the role that this building plays within the Amazon delivery network. So most of you have probably heard of the company before. I got the sense that a few of you are customers, but just as a little bit of a background and history lesson, so Amazon was founded in 1994 and has become the world's largest online retailer. One thing that is truly at the core of the company and something that we practice and believe in all the time, and my colleagues here I will introduce to you all in just a minute as well. Everything that we do, the customer is at the focus of that. So that is not lip service. I can't tell you how many meetings I am in over the course of the day or over the course of the week where our team is consistently asking, how does this impact our customer? How does this make the experience for our customer better? And what is it out there that our customer needs that they don't even know they need yet? And so that is truly at the core of how we operate, is this idea of customer obsession. It's part of our leadership principles and something that really is important to all of us. I do like to remind people the company has grown certainly tremendously. We operate in multiple countries across the globe. We employ more than 1.6 million people worldwide. But this company started in a garage, in Jeff Bezos' garage. And one of my favorite stories of the early days of Amazon is a story that's been passed down about packing orders, right? So there were a group of people that worked for the company. They would prepare orders in Jeff Bezos' garage. And at one point someone said, "My knees are killing me." And Jeff said, "Well, that's awesome. We need to get knee pads." And he said, "No, we need desk. Like, we need to not be on our knees in the garage." So they went to a local hardware store, purchased doors, put those doors on top of sawmills in the garage, and from there is born the door desk. And so the door desk is hallmark to Amazon. In all of our facilities, you will see door desk, and that's just a reminder to all of us of where the company came from, and something that we talk about a lot as well, which is the fact that it's always day one. So there are always new frontiers, there are always new things for us to be doing and inventing and reinventing, and so that door desk, again, is just a pretty good reminder for all of us in the company of that heritage and where we came from. All right, so how does that package make it to your door? So it should be getting there pretty quickly. If it's not, we'll talk to our friends over here, just kidding. Missy and Thad, who are up here at the front table, they are part of our site leadership team at the delivery station that operates here in Baton Rouge off of Segan Lane. So really glad that they were able to join us today. But part of how this works, before a package makes it to your door, there are certainly a lot of stops along the way. So we start even before you get to what we call a fulfillment center and something called a cross-dock. And in our cross-dock facilities are essentially buildings that take in inventory. So Amazon has our own inventory, but then we also partner with hundreds of thousands of small and medium business sellers across the globe who use and facilitate selling items to their customers via Amazon. So that inventory, those products, those things that you purchase from our website come into the facility via a cross-dock. From there, it goes to what we call a first mile fulfillment center. There are two types of first mile fulfillment centers. I'll talk about them separately. So the first type is we call a traditional non-sort or a TNS building. That is the type of facility that we opened at the end of last year in Carencro. So that facility is up and running. Then the second type of first mile fulfillment center is called an Amazon Robotics Sortable or an ARS. And that is the type of facility that we're building here in Baton Rouge at the former Cortana Mall site. The two differences between those buildings is really the size of items that they support. So the facility that we operate in Carencro is typically handling items that are 40 pounds and larger. So think televisions, mattresses, tables, outdoor furniture. Those items are going through the traditional non-sort facilities, while as the Amazon Robotics Sortable buildings are handling things that are 40 pounds and smaller. So in those types of facilities, if you've seen it and you've driven by, you know it's large. There are thousands of SKUs of items that are located in those buildings. These are the two facility types with where your order starts. So you click purchase on Amazon.com. That order is picked and prepared for shipment in one of these two types of buildings. From there, that order again is boxed. It looks just like the box that you had here, the box that you get at your front door. It moves to what we call a sortation center. We currently operate a sortation center in Port Allen that also opened last year. So we are, certainly building out our footprint here in the capital city and very excited to do that. But in those sortation centers, they are taking in boxes, so orders, customer orders, from primarily a regional place, but they can come from really anywhere within the delivery network. So we are most focused on getting an item to our customers as quickly as we can. And if that means that we've got to bring that item to you from California, from the East Coast, from anywhere in the US, we'll do that. But by and large, they're coming from a regional area. So they come into that sortation center. At the sortation center, those orders and packages get sorted, kind of gives it away in the name, but those packages get sorted into specific zip codes and then they go back out. And so those are either from that point going to a US Postal Service, a UPS, or more and more you're seeing them go to what we call Amazon Last Mile Delivery Stations, which, as I alluded to earlier, is the facility we operate off of Segan Lane. And so when those packages come into that building, they're then further sorted into specific routes. And the really cool thing about what happens in these delivery stations is those routes can vary from day to day, just depending upon what capacity of orders, how many orders we have that come into the building on any given day. We'll design, and I say we, but some people who are a lot smarter than I am, design those routes to optimize, where our drivers are going, the efficiency of those routes so that they can, again, get you your packages as quickly as possible. So they take those orders in. These are the only buildings within the delivery network that actually facilitate delivery direct to your door. So I get that question a lot, and got it a lot when we first started talking about this facility that we're building out at Cortana, is, is that where my delivery is coming from? And the answer is no. So your package goes through this entire process each time before it makes it to your front door. And those delivery stations, that last mile piece, are the people who are really responsible for ultimately getting that order to you. So when you think about all the stops that a package makes along the way, I think it becomes even more impressive that as a company we're able to get that to you so quickly, but know that we're always working to try to make that better. So you'll continue to see us innovate in this space and look for ways, again, that improve that customer experience. So specific to Louisiana, this again kind of harkening back to my opening comments about how proud I am to be able to work on this type of effort in my home state. Amazon currently has more than 7,000 full and part-time associates in the state. That number's grown tremendously over the last year as we bring more facilities and more, again, opportunities to serve our customers to the state. So currently, I've mentioned, that we have the facilities in Carencro, we have a facility in Port Allen, the delivery station in Baton Rouge. We also operate a delivery station in New Orleans, as well as an Amazon Air Gateway at the airport in New Orleans. So that's our existing footprint. In addition to the ARS facility we have under construction here in Baton Rouge, we're building a very similar facility in Shreveport as well. So really increasing our number of opportunities for jobs within the state, but then again, just also the opportunities for us to serve those customers. And then I always like to talk about this. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Amazon has thousands of small and medium businesses that sell on our platform. We have more than 13,000 within the state that utilize Amazon.com to reach customers. So we're really proud of that work, and something that is, without those small and medium businesses that sell on our platform, Amazon wouldn't be able to offer you the variety and the type of products that you're accustomed to seeing from us. So those companies are an integral part of how we meet our customer expectations. All right, so specific to Baton Rouge, I've been told, and we've talked about this before, I think, when we announced this facility. I know it was the worst kept secret, maybe in the history of the state of Louisiana, but we really tried. And so I know that our partners at BRAC had worked under a code name. That's pretty common for us in the economic development profession, is that we operate under code names for our projects to try to keep some of that confidentiality in place. But when we announced this project last year, actually almost a year ago, I think it was like July, so we're getting there. I'm looking at Donnie, who really is probably wishing I would stop calling him, but sad for him, I'm not going to. So Donnie from BRAC was a great partner to us as we worked on this project. But we announced 1,000 new full-time jobs and a $200 million capital investment that would be part of this project. And so that capital investment includes both the construction of the facility, but then also the equipment that will be inside the building. So in these ARS buildings, and we'll talk about this in just a second as well, there are thousands of miles of conveyor system, or hundreds of miles is probably more accurate, of conveyor system within the buildings that help us to move orders that have been packed by our associates from one part of the building to another. And so we'll spend lots of time building out that robotics network and the conveyor system that it operates on. So that's what is a part of that capital investment piece that you see there. This is a photo, rendering of what the site will look like at completion, but I have a little bit of a special treat for you guys today. So we took some drone footage of the site and of the facility, and it stayed about a week ago, to just kind of give you an idea of what's coming up out of the ground out there. So my buddy Greg is gonna get us rolling. It's really quick, but it'll give you an idea of just kind of what's happening.
Was there any audio?
No, it's just like elevator music, so no audio is fine. I think you can make it a little bit bigger, maybe if you click on those arrows there. Yep. Perfect, yeah. So this just gives you guys an idea of what used to be, or what is now, where, used to be where the mall sat there. So I've made the joke, I purchased many prom dresses in my life, in fact, all of them from this mall, so I feel like I'm having very much a full circle life moment here as this building comes out of the ground. What you're looking at there is gonna be the main entrance, what you just saw. So we're close, like I said, to closing out the actual facility. So we build the entire outside of the building, and then that's when they'll begin working on the robotics components and the other things that go within the facility. And Greg, it just kind of repeats, so we can go back to the slides. It'll just give you different vantage points. I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse as to what was going on out there. So a little bit about the robotics. So I like to describe our Amazon robotics system as a giant Roomba that moves throughout the building. So the actual robotic is looks very small, and it is fairly small in comparison to what it can do, but it's the orange piece of machinery that you see at the bottom of that image. So that is the actual robot. The robot, again, pretty small, but it can lift up to 1,500 pounds, and it weighs about the same as an NFL linebacker. So they are pretty heavy, even though they are small in stature. But what's pretty cool about them is you'll see the sort of cubby holes, for lack of a better term, that sit on top of the robot. So those Amazon Robotics work really closely with our associates. They will actually, instead of asking our associates or having our associates move all around the building all day long, we couldn't efficiently pack your orders that way. And so those robotics will actually bring items to associates as they pack your orders. So they communicate with each other through a proprietary computer system. They move, it's really hard to see in the photo there, but they move based on direction from QR codes, which are on the floor. So that's what communicates to the robot and tells it where it needs to be and where it needs to go. There's a lot of videos available online, so if you're interested in how these work or you just want to see them, check that out. So you just can Google Amazon Robotics and it'll come up, but you will see how these robots move within the building. It almost looks like they're dancing. So they sort of like one steps to the side, another one moves up, it goes to the side. So it's a pretty cool process, and it certainly helps and supports the work of our associates within the building. We love this technology. It's, again, it says it up there, but we operate more than 200,000 robotic units in more than 50 fulfillment centers across the U.S. And so pretty much all of our fulfillment centers that we're building now, these Amazon robotic sortable versions, have and utilize this robotic system within the facility. All right, so just a little bit about working at Amazon. So we, announced this project in July of last year. We are working towards having this building operational in 2023. Exact timeline of when that will be is still sort of TBD. These construction projects are large, so sometimes the timeline fluctuates a little bit. But I get questions often of just like, what is the hiring process? What is it like to work at our company? And so I wanted to share a little bit about that with you all, as I imagine as community leaders, you get some of those same questions. So primarily our hiring process is done online, and this would be the same, if you know someone that has an interest in working at our delivery station or working at our sortation center, that process is pretty much the same. So our jobs are posted online. Anyone is welcome to go on and apply for those opportunities. When we are opening a new facility like we are here in Baton Rouge, typically, those job opportunities become available about 6 to 8 weeks before the building launches. So we do tend to ramp up very quickly, and that's by design. So we will hire a lot of people in a short period of time as we get the building up and running. And there certainly will be lots of information shared with you all about that as we get closer to that time. So we'll host informational sessions, we'll host hiring events with our workforce staffing team, and so a lot of that will be, done in partnership with BRAC and with our other community partners. Certainly CAFA is here, who's a great community partner of us as well. So we'll be promoting those opportunities together. But safety certainly of our associates is of paramount. There are always things that we can improve on. There are always things, again, in the name of innovation that we are looking to do better and do differently. But it's certainly of our utmost concern is the safety of our associates. I am really proud of this company and the work that we do and the opportunities that we provide for people that join Amazon, like industry-leading pay. So across the company, a minimum starting wage of $15 per hour. That certainly can be increased and can change if you're working different shifts. If you're working a night shift or a weekend shift, that can look different. But that is our standard. So a minimum of $15 per hour, so almost double what is the federal minimum wage criteria. And then something that I really love is all of our associates receive benefits on their first day of employment. Our full-time associates get the same exact benefits package that I have as a corporate employee. So they get medical, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, participation in a 401k if they want it, up to 20 weeks of maternity leave, up to 6 weeks of paternity leave. So fantastic benefits for our associates. And I hear a lot when I visit our fulfillment centers from our team that those benefits oftentimes are as important to them as the wage itself. So really proud of the work that we do in that space. It's very important, I know, and just gives you an added level of security to know that you have benefits for yourself and your family. And then the last point I'll make here is another program that I love and one that we revamped in January of this year, and that's Amazon Career Choice. And so that is Amazon's professional development program that we make available to our associates. When we revamped the program in January of this year, what we did is reduce the timeline that an associate or an employee had to be with the company to be eligible for career choice. So it used to be a year, now it's down to 90 days. So after you've been with the company for 90 days, Amazon will pay up to 100% of your tuition, your schooling fees, for you to go back and get a certificate, get a 2-year degree, and pursue a career. The really fantastic thing about career choice is it doesn't have to be a career that's going to keep you at Amazon. Let's say you work in our company, you work in a fulfillment center, but your dream is to be a dental assistant or a medical assistant. We want you to be able to do that. And so while you work in our fulfillment center, Amazon will pay for you to be able to do that. We cover in-demand fields. And when you finish that program and you graduate and you have your certificate or you have your 2-year degree, we'll actually help you find a job in the field that you were trained in, because we want to make sure if you're leaving the company for an opportunity that is at least equal to what you had at Amazon as far as pay and benefits, if not better. So that's one sort of revamp to career choice. I love that program. I think it's amazing that we offer that to our team. And then the other thing we added in the January revamp is we had a lot of associates say, hey, career choice is great, but I don't want to leave Amazon. I want to grow my career here. I want opportunities within the company to grow. And that might be in an IT space. That might be in supply chain and logistics. It might be in workplace health and safety. It might be in a reliability maintenance engineering role, which are the folks that primarily keep the Amazon robotics system up and running. And so we created what we call Amazon Career Pathways, which are specifically targeted for those team members who say, I want to stay here, but I want to do something different. And so they can pick a track within the company. We'll help them get the education and the training that they need to be able to grow their skills so that they can continue to progress in their career with us. So really proud of that program. I love it. LSU is a partner for us with Career Choice, which is certainly going to be important to our associates as they come on board here in Baton Rouge and we grow those numbers here. So that was a mouthful, but I wanted to make sure I saved some time for questions, as long as you guys promise to be nice. Just kidding. But I think we have some time. 9 minutes? Okay. Oh, for Baton Rouge? Or? Oh, for Amazon? So it's a great question. So she asked, where did the name come from the company? So there's lots of sort of urban legends about where the name came from. And so it was that was driven by Jeff Bezos and his team, and they wanted something that was vast and also all-encompassing and sort of didn't put any limits on the company to be able to grow and become and change and be different. And so we landed on, certainly had ties to the Amazon River, and then here we are with Amazon as your online retailer.
How will the infrastructure surrounding the facility be affected vis-a-vis roads, access, trucks? Where are the trucks coming in from? Is there a primary feeder? What's going on there?
Yep, sure. So there's multiple access points within the site, so that's by design. And then we also do, as part of our due diligence on all of our projects, we conduct traffic impact studies, and there will be upgrades and improvements made to the roadway infrastructure to make sure that it can support the level of traffic, both from a semi-truck standpoint, but then also from associate traffic as well. And you'll notice as the site gets built out, there's also separate entrances for semi-truck traffic and personal vehicle traffic. So we intentionally keep that separate. And there will be people that monitor sort of during shift change and stuff like that. We'll open up more of those entry points, exit points for associates as they move in and out of the facility, so that everyone's not trying to come out of just one particular area or one particular part of the building. Yes, I don't know where to go next. Go ahead.
Are there other buildings planned? I've heard this was the one of 3 buildings or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not.
No, I don't think so. So right now, that's, this particular facility that we're building at Cortana, certainly we operate, and this might be where some of the confusion is. So we operate a delivery station off of Seagan. We operate the sortation center in Port Allen, and then we have this facility under construction, but that's our footprint in Baton Rouge right now.
For the career choice, you said it pays tuition for in-demand fields, and you mentioned a partnership with LSU. Could you say a little bit more about how the in-demand fields are determined?
Sure, and we can, if we want to get into the weeds really heavy on that, I can get you connected to our career choice team, because it's not something I decide or am a part of, but essentially they look and evaluate those on a calendar basis. So typically on an annual calendar year basis, they'll look at what those in-demand fields are. They look at professions that may not be turning out the graduates or the skilled trades that you need in a particular region. And so they can vary across the delivery network, if that makes sense. So in-demand fields, in the Northeast might not be the same as in-demand fields in the Southeast, but they are looked at and evaluated on a fairly regular basis. Yes.
You mentioned a partnership that you have with the New Orleans airport. Is there any plans to partner with the Baton Rouge airport?
Sure. So we've, certainly are, again, always looking at opportunities to improve the capabilities and the need and ability for us to provide for customers. But right now, the gateway at New Orleans is the only plans we have in an airspace. Hi.
How do you support K-12 education?
Sure. So one of our flagship programs for K-12 education is called Amazon Future Engineer, and it is primarily a program related to STEM education. We have several schools within the parish, within the state, that already participate in Amazon Future Engineer. But any teacher, so if there are teachers in the room or you all work with teachers, if you look up and Google Amazon Future Engineer, you will find this information. But they are able to access curriculum for STEM education. You can take your students on a virtual tour of an Amazon Robotics sortable building. You just want to make sure you pick the one for AFE, otherwise it's going to be very technical and not at all makes sense to someone in K through 12. And then also you can do something called class chats. And so class chats there are certain people within the company that do a whole wide variety of skills, right? So we have Alexa engineers, we have supply chain and logistics professionals, we have tons of different types of opportunities and professional opportunities within the company. So through class chats, if you have something as an educator that you want to fit into a particular curriculum, you can ask and request for a class chat on that topic and have someone from Amazon join your classroom and just talk to your students about what they do for the company, what their job day is like, and that sort of thing. But all of that is available and free, and like I said, any educator can access that AFE curriculum now. Yes, sir.
When do you expect this to be completed?
Yep, so 2023 is the target for launching the facility. Exact date is to be determined, so still sort of working that out, but 2023 is our target for opening. Yes.
How many people will work at the Cortana facility?
Yep, so we've committed to 1,000 new full-time jobs at this facility. There will be some other opportunities available, but 1,000 full-time jobs. Yes, hi.
With 1,000 full-time jobs, are there any plans to support that workforce with a high-quality early learning center located near the facility?
Yep, so we haven't talked about a specific facility near the center, but certainly we'll work with the workforce development partners in the region and with BRAC as well. So I know we've had some preliminary conversations with their team. Amazon has a team dedicated to staffing our facilities. We call them workforce staffing. And so as we get closer to the facility launching, those folks will be on the ground connecting with those local partners, helping to educate people about job opportunities and how to apply and just what that whole process is like. Yes, sir.
What's your plan for engaging the nonprofit community?
Yeah, so community engagement is something that's certainly important to us. It's primarily in, am I on?
No.
Okay, perfect. It's primarily in 3 buckets. So we have a group and a team called Amazon in the Community. We focus on STEM education, which is that Amazon Future Engineer program and our engagement in schools through that program. Then we also have a second opportunity that we call Right Now Needs, which is essentially supporting people and organizations that are experiencing or supporting individuals experiencing hunger and homelessness. And then the last one is disaster recovery, which we certainly wish we never had to use, but we all know we do. I grew up in Lafourche Parish, and so very proud to say that last year when Hurricane Ida happened, Amazon actually sent me down here and let me come and be boots on the ground and work with local nonprofit organizations to facilitate taking in donations and dispersing those to people that really need them. So those are the ways we do it. In our facility, we also have what we call affinity groups, which are all types of things. There's an affinity group for everything. I'm going to create one for the Who Dat Nation. That is my goal as I round out my career at Amazon. That is my #1 objective. But anyway, so there's tons of affinity groups, and those affinity groups also look for different partnerships within the community. So like Warriors at Amazon's one that I think almost all of our facilities have. That's veterans and spouses of veterans. They'll volunteer. We have the Black Employee Network. We have women in Amazon. We have lots of affinity groups. So they'll also, again, look for different ways to get engaged too. But I think I am out of time, so I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure.